And we'll call to order the July 11th, 2025 meeting of the HVAC IAQ Building Committee here on WebEx. We'll stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay. We can mark it to the flag. All right. Rodney, I don't know if you want to make a motion to approve either of those minutes. There was one.
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of meeting for June 20th, 2025.
Second, any discussion?
Not for me.
All in favor?
Aye. I will also make a motion to approve the minutes of June 27th, 2025.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
Not for me.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Okay, updates we go. So Mike or Amar?
All right, so I'll Mark jump in and make a lean. So I'm gonna take it school by school. At Fairfield Woods, things are moving really well in terms of buttoning up the ceilings, installations of all above ceiling work. The vestibule, it's right now we're roughing in the overhead MEP. The FCO system is on site, that's the exterior frame that's going to be installed next week. And obviously we're still tracking the Armortex system, which is the bullet resistance system. That's the frame they're shipping to us in early August. However, as you're all aware, the glass is not showing up until about the third week of August. The team did discuss installing temporary glazing just so at least we get through TCO, but then we'll swap it. It'll take a day to swap the glass from tempered glass 1/4 inch to the actual bullet resistant glazing. As it relates to units are startup for those, but at least Fairfield Woods, we're looking at late July is the startup for that particular school. So things are going really well at Woods, and there's.
Hey guys.
As far as permanent power, Tim, maybe you can take it from there and switch over
Yeah.
to the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, so permanent power transformers were dropped on the 8th, late in the day. So the past couple of days we've been spending time pulling in secondaries and primary conductors. That's through the conduits, getting those terminated to the right areas. Based on latest discussions with UI, next week we are planning to do the shutdowns at Osborne and Woods to do the official, completion of the permanent power sequence. So by Friday next week, we should have permanent power and refed power all up and running at Osborne and Fairfield Woods. North Stratfield, we originally were tracking for 714, but due to just the nature of trying to take on all 3 schools at once, UI had to push that to 722. Again, that should be a 1-day operation where we pull in the secondaries, and UI, they power down the transformer, we pull in the secondaries, and they re-energize by the time the crews are leaving to go home. So far, so good with UI. We're almost out of the woods with them. I don't know, Amar, what you gave as far as an update on the rest of the schools, but we're moving along. You're muted, Amar. Amar, you're still muted.
He was just basically voting for the festival at Woods. That was it.
Yeah, I only covered Woods. So cover Osborne.
Oh, okay. Yep. Osborne Hill. So Osborne, on a general note, aside from permanent power, moving along well. Inside and outside of the building, our FCO storefronts, the exterior storefront started to go in this past week. We're shifting gears to start to do the same over at North Stratfield. And then we'll be following that with Woods. Woods was a little bit different, as I said, because we had footings and concrete work that had to go in place beforehand. Let's see, North Stratfield. So again, we're moving along. North Stratfield, we are having some issues with our roofer. just lack of production and manpower. It's been a bit of a struggle as we've gotten into the past couple weeks. Gilbane ourselves, we've issued delay notices to try to make sure that we keep them on track. But we are having trouble with them as far as really just supplying manpower. They've really been about one crew size or so short for what they have to do. And we've been trying to push them to get manpower, adequate manpower and proper manpower, because we've also had trouble with some of the manpower we've had hasn't been the most productive manpower. So it's been a little bit of a double, just kind of fighting two fronts here with them. But we are coming up with contingency plans with ourselves, Gilbane and Ferguson Mechanical and Electrical, and also the roofer, to try to make sure that we don't have any issues or further issues with schedule. So we are generating kind of a contingency plan on how we're going to resequence roof installation, really focusing on the HVAC side and power, making sure that come the end of summer, if there was any sort of bigger delay with the actual roof replacement, that it's not going to impact the startup and use of the HVAC equipment. So we're looking at
Tim, just one thing,
Yes.
if I may interrupt. Remind me who the contractor is for North Stratfield?
Roofer is Young Developers.
Young, okay.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, we did receive a recovery schedule from them. And we've been actually in communications with them at least 3 to 4 times a day. They are working 10s and potentially Saturday. The other thing is that's kind of hampered the effort, as you're all aware. Weather has been pretty tough in terms of rain events. We've had a lot of rain days, and that affected obviously North Stratfield significantly because that entire building roof is getting replaced. So there's those unfortunate situations that kind of complicated and add more insult to injury. He is manning up. We think we're going to be all right. So hopefully with the weather kind of staying on our side, we might be able to pull through this and be okay. Obviously, if this was just a simple roof replacement, it would be a lot easier. The challenge is that we have a significant amount of ductwork on the roof, and there's a lot of duct stands that are integrated within the roof, which complicates the roof replacement. So there's a lot of steps that tends to be complicated. It's not your normal roof replacement. So that's really one of the issues. But we did receive a recovery schedule from him. It does show us being on time, but there's really no fluff or no real colored cushion left for us.
Just keep us in
Absolutely.
the loop.
Absolutely. That's why we want to bring this up. We like to deliver good news, and we like to deliver also because while you guys are part of the team, we want to make sure you guys are aware in case you are asked by others as to what's going on. We think we're going to be all right. We're monitoring him on a daily basis, repeatedly during the day as well, and constant communication with him on every day as to what's his manpower. And the other thing is that North Stratfield is really the critical one. Osborne, his efforts on Osborne are wrapping up in about a week, and the same thing on Wood. So we're going to take that manpower and shift it over to Stratfield too. So we'll have more manpower on North Stratfield. So we'll update you we are, like I said, we are reviewing his recovery schedule very closely, and we'll hopefully we'll be okay.
Okay. So the recovery schedule has begun, and there's no buffer left. So
Exactly.
So the next meeting we're going to know if we're going to be late, and then we'll have to be more aggressive at remediation efforts to get back on track.
Correct. And we are going to we'll talk to him today. I'm in touch with the supers there on a daily basis, especially North Stratfield, to make sure that he has the adequate manpower. What's his production is like? How is he meeting this timeline that he actually gave us? Or we're looking to potentially supplement him. But again, we think we're going to be all right, but we just want to make sure that you guys are aware.
Okay.
That's the byproduct of public procurement, unfortunately.
All right. What else, Tim?
That's pretty much it. I mean, again, we're moving on the permanent power. Ferguson is moving along with both mechanical, electrical. Other trades are doing what they have to do. So it's mainly been, like I said, mainly the roof on North Stratfield, and again, UI has been obviously one of our strong, our wild cards, and we're moving along with them too. So confident there. So I think overall, aside from what we just discussed, everything's going to plan, to schedule, and we're going to keep pushing.
Okay. Amar, you touched on it, but the framing for the festivals, that was on target to be August 8th. As far as we know, that's still on target for August 8th?
Yes, that's still holding August 8th. Glazing is still out at 8/22. I did ask Cherry Hill to get me an update. We did also just get a price from Cherry Hill. I haven't reviewed it yet, but just for temp glazing, just very cheap 1/4 inch tempered glass.
That was my next question, was the
and
cost.
that's I have not looked at it yet, but it's about a week lead time. So I think Mark Schweitzer and I said, you know what, let's see where we are towards the end of July, and if we need to procure it, Scott said there's no issue to get it within a week. We can get it in the frames within a day or so. So I think we'll just, my hope is that glazing date pushes up a little bit and gives us a little buffer so we can get that glazing in, because it's really at each school, it's a couple days worth of time to put the glazing in. So we're not looking at like a week, right? It's just a couple days. So we should be able to, if we have to, we can work long days, maybe get it done in a very long day or whatever, day and a half. So we'll figure out how we handle that once we have the date.
Sal, when is the beginning of school?
I believe 8/26.
8/26. That Tuesday.
Yep.
Correct. Sorry, I had to unmute.
Tim, is it possible to work on the weekends? Get the glazing in
Yes.
if it comes in the 28th?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the Saturday. We could always look into Sunday too. Most of the trades, we'd have to have that discussion about a Sunday shift, but Saturdays are definite.
And I'm sorry, maybe you mentioned it, but I was looking at something else. When the glazing does come in, how long does it take to put in for the vestibules?
It's a couple days per school.
Days.
Yeah, just for that interior.
Okay. All right.
So we could always ask the trades to work, 2 shifts or something. We can have coverage. We can work with them to see what they'd be willing to do. And if we had to pay premium time, et cetera, we could accelerate it too.
Okay.
Remember, the risk is only on the outer glass set, right? The inner glass set will all be in place. So
yes, the outer side of the building will be secure from an outside security standpoint. Yeah, this is just the inside system only.
From a security perspective, we'd be where we are today, if you will.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes. Correct.
So,
as a worst case scenario, yes.
Okay. Other updates on Osborne Hill, North Stratfield Woods?
No, that's it for the moment.
Yeah, and Tim pretty much covered the phase 1, the 3 schools. Fitz House, we did receive, as you know, we've been dealing with Save More and getting the units on the rooftop going. We met with Save More about a month ago. We did receive a letter from their attorney. We have turned it over to the town's attorney and purchasing. And so we are waiting on that for a response back to them.
And Rodney, given the legal perspective, I don't know if you've got a chance to read through that letter yet. I have not. If we want to do any discussion on that, we can call a special executive session and go through that issue.
Right.
All right. Anything else on Fitz?
Nope, nothing on Fitz. On Tomlinson, we tried getting the GMP in front of the Board of Selectmen at this week's Board of Selectmen meeting. The purchasing director was on vacation this week, so it did not get on the agenda.
Adam was out again?
Adam was out again.
Oh, okay. Good for him.
Hmm.
He was out 2 weeks ago. That's why I'm saying that. So it was out a week, back a week.
No, I know.
Okay.
I got his out of office email. So,
Interesting.
so we'll get it on press him to get it on for the next Board of Selectmen meeting.
Mark, when is the next meeting for the Board of Selectmen?
Should be end of the
It
month.
was-
I don't have it in front of me. I will get that for you.
I think it's like the 22nd, right? 22nd, 23rd.
Okay.
Isn't that-
But
How does this impact the schedule?
we should be all right, to be honest, in terms of, because we're not starting really this work. I just worry about submittals. So walk me through the timeline, Mark. So if it's the 22nd for Board of Selectmen, I gave you the draft amendments. When do you think we'll get an executed amendment?
Yeah, just to be clear, the GMP does not be approved by the BOS. It is
All
the
right.
contract revision
Correct.
to
Correct.
allow
Right.
Gilbane and Company to continue work on Tomlinson, that contract modification, which is being driven from procurement. So just Adam/Lee need to get that
Okay.
that
So
paperwork in front of the BOS to be approved.
But
So we're talking after the
theoretically,
BOS
Gilbane can't
approves
start
the
until
amendments.
it's on
We're talking a
contract.
couple of days.
Okay. Yeah, they could technically, right. I think you were saying they can't start until that is done. So
Yeah, I can't, yeah, we can't issue any contracts unless I have an amendment from the town. Okay. Keep us
I
posted.
will,
Will do.
I'll reach out to procurement today.
Thank you.
So if I'm hearing it, no impact on the schedule if things fall into place.
Yeah, I mean, if it's by the end of the month, we should be, or if I get the amendment signed off and executed, contract change order, call it, by the end of the month, we should be okay. Yes. The sooner the better.
You can also read the BOS and just make sure it's on their agenda as well. Okay. Anything else in Tomlinson?
Nope.
All right. Very good. All right, moving on. Approvals, ATPs. I open those up.
We have 6 of them. And possibly, Tim, I got an email from Michael yesterday regarding North Stratfield 44, the transite panel that's coming off. Is that,
Hang on, I'm looking right now, transite panel. Yeah, I think he had to modify something on it, so we're gonna hold off.
okay?
Okay, so it's not going away, it's just being modified and being. deferred
Yeah,
to a
no, there
different
was,
date. So-
yeah, there's still a transite panel issue.
Okay.
All right. So 2 for Fairfield Woods, ATP 51, RFI 133, DOAS 5, duct penetration angle frames. It's coming out of contingency, and this is the final. Tim, do you want to, or Jesse, do you want to walk us through this one?
Jesse can do this.
It's Jesse on?
Yeah, I'm
Jesse's
here.
on.
Yeah,
And
it's okay.
I think you kind of put me on the spot. I don't remember
I'm-
this one and what happened here.
Well, that leads me to a couple things with these ATPs that we're still seeing. The RFI 133, that was issued in April. And we're just finding out about it in July. RFI 89, that was back in November of 2024. And we're just hearing about it in 2025 in July. And then RFI 113 for North Stratfield was done, it first came out in, the RFI came out in 214. So why is there such a delay in getting us these ATPs?
Rob,
Generally, I mean, this has been going on for, I've brought it up several times. And, then all of a sudden, we're here, we gotta put these units in. You need to approve the cost now. Not saying that's this case, but it's been in the past, where it has been. And
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why it's taking 6 months, 8 months, to get these things in front of the committee.
So Rod, I'm not, obviously Gilbane does the ATPs, but I figured since you're kind of you're in the design industry like I am, I'll try to explain it from my point of view. So a lot of the RFIs are not used as just a question with an answer, but they're coordination issues. And we go back and forth with Gilbane, a dozen different questions back and forth over that time. This one in particular involved having to schedule site visits to get out to the school, do a lot of work, design work, redesign stuff. And that was after the questions all back and forth.
Okay, Jesse,
So-
Jesse, hold on. You responded to it on 5/27.
Well, no,
Okay.
we initially responded to it. We did
And-
not, but that wasn't a response that let anything happen yet. There was no direction at that point.
So Rodney, this was the issue I was hoping to address with the with Mark's document
Let's-
that reviews all of the sort of the pending upcoming ATPs, right? So this, I'm not sure I understand the white squares, but the idea that item 112 was put out there, we reviewed it at least last time. But yeah, to try to keep these things moving along. So we need to make sure that, for example, 117 and 118 on what's being shown now, they're in white, which implies that they are new to the list.
New from the last time, yes.
So that's something we want to review, so that we are hitting these, at least from an awareness perspective, as soon as possible, with the understanding that they may, to Jesse's point, I guess, that they may tweak slightly over time as they become more mature, but at least we're aware of the potential exposure. That was the hope of this document.
Okay, it just it boggles my mind that it takes this long to get these things in front of the committee.
From initial RFI to completion and
Yeah.
to issuance. Yeah. I can't speak to that.
Rodney, if it gives you a comfort level, we'll definitely can set up a sidebar to review any particular ones. There's obviously stories, some of them are, you've seen some we were able to price them within a couple of days, others were a significant amount of work and rework. And, you know, we have other hot items of priorities. I'm not trying to make any excuses here, but we're happy to review any particular ones that you have to walk
Well,
through.
I mean, to be fair, it's a duct penetration with angle frames. How much rework needs to be done for that?
Like I said,
It's 4 or 5 angles,
right.
welded, screwed. Come on. I mean,
No,
that,
I totally get it. I know. I'll take that to side. I'll happy to review it. I can give you a call later on to tell you where the gap was or if any. I totally agree with you. Yes, these things should be pointed out to you and said, hey, by the way, we just received an RFI. And maybe if you like, we can, at the next meeting as part of our update, we could say we received our responses to this and this and this, and the estimated price is going to be X. We're working on the pricing. We'll get it to you as soon as possible. I mean, we can employ different types of communications. We do provide on a monthly basis. If you look at our monthly report and we distribute that, we show all our potential costs that's out there, somewhat similar document to what Mark puts together that shows all the potential costs, what's coming up, because when we do get our RFI response, we automatically open the change event for it, just so we can capture the document, especially if it's going to show any potential
yeah,
costs.
we all do that.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
again, my hope was with the document from Mark, which we'll go over at the end of the ATPs. The reality is there's a lot of information out there, but as a volunteer committee, it's a question of how much time is there. What's the appropriate amount of time to dig into these things and try to flush stuff out, right? So let's try to bubble some of these things up and make them more obvious for everyone. So that'll certainly be a practice with Tomlinson going forward. We'll have to make sure we
I mean, maybe
better
Jeff,
perspective.
Mark, maybe add an item onto the agenda, say what other potential costs that's out there, and we can talk about what we're seeing, what's been issued to us, so that way you're aware. We're happy to add that as an agenda item, sometimes we'll tell you, yes, we do. We have this, and this is how much we think it is. I know this document shows it, but I don't know if that shows everything that's out there. Tim, maybe you could weigh in when this document shows up and say, by the way, we're also working on this and this and this.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, we weren't doing this for a while, this PCI log essentially, but I think also, Ronnie, it's also once we get the information, we got to get it to the trades and we got to deal with them. So it's a, you know, then we got to chase them in for pricing, and you know, these guys drag their feet. They don't have the time, the blah blah blah, all the excuses. So it's a lot. You know,
No,
unfortunately it does take longer than we.
And I understand that,
wanted
but I mean, we'll get to it, but you know, ATP 036 roof access, we knew about this back in November of last year. And we're just seeing it now. I mean, it's for a substantial amount of money. It's almost $28,000. And we're seeing it now. I mean, it doesn't take for, you know, these items, it doesn't take, what are we, 8 months out? Didn't take them 8 months to do the design. So that's my point. And we'll have to resolve it going forward, but
Sure.
for now, let's just get through these ATPs.
Yeah. Okay. Noted.
Sorry, Mark, didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all. ATP
Right.
51.
So do you want to, do you have enough, Jesse was caught off guard. Do you have enough?
Yep.
Can anybody speak to the angle iron wires that change? That's this one, right?
Well, I can give you the nickel tour. It's going from angle frames to cold form metal framing at the 5 locations. That I do know the credit for. There's a credit here from the steel fabricator for not installing the angle frames, and it's going to the general trades to install cold form metal framing at the duct penetrations.
So we're getting rid of the angle frames and just going with conventional stud framing.
Correct.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept ATP 051 RFI 133 duct penetration angle frames. Source is the contingency in the amount of $5,471.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
None.
Hearing none.
This is
all in
not an
favor?
estimate. This is a hard cost.
Correct.
Okay.
Can you jump back to page 1, Mark? Or wherever you're, yeah, we go. Yeah, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next one is ATP 52 mods to sprinkler branch line at book storage. This is coming out of contingency, and this is a final. Probably the best way to do this. Existing branch lines for the fire sprinkler.
Should have pictures in there. Yeah, there you go.
And the AHU is basically going right above them, so they have to be, the branch lines need to be moved around it, moved around the AHU.
I'll make a motion to accept ATP 052 modifications to sprinkler branch line at book storage. Source is contingency. This is a final price, $4,925.
Second the motion. Any further discussion?
None.
All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
North Stratfield 036. This is for the roof access. RTU one access to. This is the unit above basically the vestibule in the main office. This has morphed a little bit from the original RFI to what it is now. The unit has gone inside, basically independent above the stage, instead of, or the ductwork has come inside above the stage. The unit's staying outside. The routing of the ductwork is a little bit, it has been rerouted for the access.
Why? Why was it rerouted?
With the shop drawings, the installed ductwork was slightly different than shown on the design drawings. It had to be based on field conditions, so that the changes that had to be made when installing it essentially blocked maintenance access to the unit. So instead of running a 15-foot length of ductwork on the roof, we put it inside the building so that we could use that space where the ductwork originally was going on the roof. We could use that space to get to the unit and access it correctly. There was, I think it originally started with some mistakes on drawings we used to create the backgrounds for the building. Some discrepancies in dimensions and things like that.
I'll make a motion to accept ATP 036, RFI 089, RTU 1 access. It's coming from contingency in the amount of $27,538.00.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right, ATP 42 for North Stratfield. This
Can you
is,
jump back to that? Oh, you're on, this is the detail for 42? Okay.
yeah,
Never mind.
not a problem. We get a RFI 159, the rain leader, ACM insulation. This is a mudded joint in the rain leader in the wall of the main office. So this is coming out of the hazmat contingency in the amount of $8,224.
And just to call out, we had ample funds in the hazmat contingency to cover this.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes. I don't think we've touched North Stratfield's.
Yeah, we have 63,000 out.
Yep.
According to your
Yep.
out of
corridor.
250, lower fine. ATP, I'll make a motion to approve ATP 042, RFI 159, rain leader ACM installation. It's coming from hazmat contingency in the amount of $8,224.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Lastly, ATP 43, RFI 113, RTU 3 duct drop connections in the amount of, this is estimated, and it's coming out of contingency of $13,754.
What is this?
So this one was, when we designed it, we took all the model numbers from the existing unit, got the dimensions of where the ducts are supposed to be from there in the drawings. And it ended up that the new unit was not the same configuration, even though it was supposed to be. And part of this is related to when we designed the drawing, rooftop units that were available to specify were no longer available when they're installed, just due to refrigerant changes. I think that had a lot to do with this, but that's a side note and neither here nor there. So the supply and return connections ended up in different locations than they were on the original unit, even though we did everything we could to design it so they'd be in the same location. So it required just some moving around of the ductwork connection right at the rooftop unit itself to be able to connect to the existing ductwork in the space.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept ATP 043 RFI 113 RTU duct drop connections. It's coming from contingency. This is an estimate only of $13,754.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? I assume there's no
No.
concerns with these, there's no abrupt angles, there's no airflow issues that have to be re-engineered? You're muted, Jesse.
No, this includes everything to make everything function correctly.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we're tabling 044 this time
Correct.
to be discussed at a later date if necessary or with a new amount. Okay. Anything else on
Jeff,
ATPs?
Yeah, one thing. Can you just can you sign the ones from last call? I think we had 2 of them. I
Did I
think they're
not?
still unsigned. Yeah, it's okay. Just wanted to
You
remind
sure?
you.
I didn't do that?
Yeah, as of yesterday evening.
Hey, Mark, also a little housekeeping on your summary for North Stratfield. You are missing 043. It's listed on there, but there's not an ATP number and it's still grayed out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. On to invoices.
Okay, first one's up are Gilbane's for the month of June for the 4 schools in construction. Basically, phase 1 HVAC is invoice 15. The roof is 10, and I don't have the math open. Then we have Gilbane's Tomlinson pre-con. This is the balance of the pre-con for Tomlinson. BL's services for June, Collier's services for June, and then Myers, this is the move-in of the book room for that took place in the middle of June.
I'll make a motion to accept Gilbane's invoices number 15, 10, and 20, 25, 06, J7, 43, all dated 6/30/2025 for the total amount of $1,658,833.80.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to accept BL Company's invoices 23,000,53, bunch of zeros, 0.26, dated 6/30/2025, and the total amount of $9,339.12.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Other than, again, asking BL to change their invoice numbering sequence?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we really want to pay Colliers? Anyway, I'll make a motion to accept Collier's invoice 1068459 dated 6/30/2025 in the total amount of $14,901.60.
Second the motion. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then on to Myers.
Finally, Myers, I'll make a motion to accept Myers invoice 120-06-7717A, date 6/25/2025, in the total amount of $9,089.75.
I'll second the motion. Discussion, is that based on an ATP or is that was that GMP? The Myers, that's an ATP, isn't it?
Well, it's a proposal that was accepted for, I believe back in May for the book room, and it's
Right.
off a state contract.
Okay, so that remaining balance, is the book room moved back in, or is this
Nope,
the
it's
outbound
that
only?
No, this is outbound only.
So we'll expect to see another number coming in to
Correct.
return said books.
Correct.
And based on that, is it cheaper to move material back in? It's
Yes,
not
it
an
is.
equal split, so I'm
No, it's not an equal split. It's actually harder to go out than it is to come back. At least if last year is the indicator.
this is a fixed price bid.
They're about 30% of 30 to 40% of what their proposed was. They're less than half of what they proposed for the book room. So I believe we're in good shape.
Okay. So no ATP coming for $1,500. Okay. Any other discussion? Good, Rodney?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That concludes the invoice chapter of our novel. I believe we're on old business. Covered Save More, covered vestibules, covered BOS approval. I know there's been attempts to keep the doors shut and the humidity down. Have you guys have been monitoring RH?
Yes.
How is
Yes,
that
we've been-
monitoring
it's-
going? And
It's been staying in the proper guidelines. Obviously, like we said at Fairfield Woods, we're not using dehumidifiers at the moment, but we've been checking the humidities, and they got into the low 70s in certain portions of the building. But again, the HumiGuard is not a concern, and the phase 1 tile that was in question is being replaced anyways. So, but we have been making sure the door stays shut. I have our labor team kind of monitoring the building, and if the temps or the humidity shoots up, we make sure the doors get shut to just maintain the interior balance. Osborne Hill obviously has dehumidifiers running full time, so there's definitely no issue in the phase 1 zones there. But it has not crept up. It has not gotten into like the 90s or anything like. And it's all been like mainly in the 70s. A couple of days we got up close to 80%. But that was on some of those humid hot weeks we had a couple of weeks ago. But since then it's been
all froze.
Since then
And
it's been
we-
back down to. Go
We
ahead,
haven't
Rodney.
seen any further damage to the tiles.
No, not at this moment.
Additional, I guess, is the proper term.
Yeah, no,
Additional.
not at this moment. Yeah. Just one thing I just want to
See,
say
now,
before we get
Tim, the
off.
proper answer would have been not at this moment, and we don't anticipate.
We don't anticipate. Not at
Okay.
this moment. I give you my personal guarantee that there will not be any more damage.
No, you don't want to do that.
With the power coming, the permanent power being in place, and we talked about startups in the imminent future, right? So that would
Yes.
that implies
have
that we would then
startups.
have conditioning of those spaces on a more permanent basis once that's in place.
Yeah, we have startups starting at the end of July. So 7/28 is our first train startup, followed by 8/4 and 8/11 at the three schools. So yes, I mean we will be starting those units up, which would start pumping, controlled air into the spaces. Obviously, they're not completely balanced and figured out yet, but yes, we would be starting to pump the air into the school and starting to check all that. So we're getting closer to where the humidity should be controlled on a more universal basis than what we're doing right now.
Okay.
And just one thing I wanted to say before we get, is this committee, are we able to potentially meet each Friday going forward through these next, 4 or 5 weeks as we're getting into the heavy part of the summer, just for ATP purposes, schedule up, just things like that to keep everybody in the loop? Or is that something we could potentially do, or is that not feasible?
I can ask the board, the committee.
Yeah.
Joe's
We don't
not
need to
here.
answer this minute. You can definitely.
Your
over.
concern, Tim, is that you have a number of ATPs and as the window, your
Yes.
event horizon shortens, you need more rapid response.
Yeah. Yes.
And Jeff, do you have authorization to a certain limit as far as sign off authority?
I think it was 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
we
Jeff.
voted for that so that we didn't, in case of that kind of situation.
You have up to 20,000 you can authorize?
I believe that's
I think
what
it
we
was
said.
15.
Yep.
Was it
15,
15?
20, was it 20? I don't
It-
remember. I'd have to look back at the number.
Yeah, let me go back through. It's between 10 and 20.
Cue the evil laugh. Yeah.
So
That-
you're,
if we
you're-
can
you're gonna
maybe
get
we can-
75 ATPs under $20,000.
The daily
That was-
I'll just-
ATP.
To Tim's
I'll just
point,
break them up in little pieces.
This time. That was my thinking at this time, to Tim's point.
Well,
This
Jeff,
is
these
fine.
are the ones for the screws. So let's
Yeah.
approve this one, and then I'll give you the wood the next week, or the next, and then another ATP.
No,
That's
no,
good to
give
know.
them
That's
at the
good to know
same
that you
time.
have certain level of authorization. We can always reach out to you if there's something that's urgent that needs to be moved forward.
Mhm.
If it's inconvenient, if it's not gonna work out, I don't wanna waste anybody's time by everybody get together and then we don't have a quorum. We can stay the 2 weeks.
Well, a quorum, or conversely, we're wasting our time approving an ATP for screws for $45, right? I mean, I'm being facetious
Right.
to make the point, but you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
we block the time, there's an expectation that we're gonna need it. So let's
Stay the
see
course.
how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
We need 48 hours to post a special meeting. So if you, right, isn't that what it is, Mark?
24.
24. Well, I'm saying
Oh.
48 because we need time to actually submit
Right.
everything and
Yeah.
get it
Correct.
done. So,
All right, so let's fly under those premises. If we have something that needs building committee approval, we'll make sure we communicate that a few days in advance so we can have the special meeting otherwise. So, okay, that's. then
yeah,
leave
if
it
you find
that.
a big issue that you
Yeah.
think it's going to be expensive, you need to just
Yeah.
bubble it up and then we can look to get it on calendar as soon as possible and then we
Yeah.
can work that through. If it's
Okay.
a small number, we'll deal with it offline and we'll just talk about it and Rodney can chastise me for approving it and
Yeah.
foolish
We'll
I
make
was.
We'll make sure the RFIs that are a year old get priced up now.
Okay.
As long as everything's, put on the next month's or the next meeting's ATP if you approve.
Oh,
something
absolutely,
at 15 grand.
absolutely.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would actually argue there's even a higher level of scrutiny that's in backup material that's going to be necessary if we go that path to
Okay.
justify to demonstrate why and what we did. So yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Mark, you want to bring up the agenda again just to
Yep.
level set for everyone?
Should be up.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at it. I have another document overlaid and I thought it was part of I had it positioned perfectly. That was underneath the audience there. Okay. Any other old business, Rodney, from you?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, I have none either. Any new business?
Not for
I
me.
do.
Mark does.
Just real quickly, Jeff, you and I spoke about this on Wednesday. just wanted to bring it up now. The, on our invoice, we have broken it out into phases, and if Rodney, you were around when, we were originally hired. Our contract is hourly, and our fee was based on the, conclusion of the project at December 31st of 2024. We've done a very good job of stretching what we had for the construction phase fee into basically another 8 months. We anticipate being quote unquote out of construction fee at the end of this month, middle of next month. We have more than enough on phase one between the closeout and the commissioning phase. We'd just like to, once we hit the balance of the construction phase, we'd like to start charging our time to the closeout phase, probably sometime in August. So our August bill will be tapping into the closeout phase.
All right, just what I would recommend is, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Just if you could give this committee either an estimate or a proposal to make that transfer from closeout to construction phase, and then reduce your closeout phase.
Okay. I mean, we
mean,
could,
I don't know. That would be my suggestion.
we're just, since we're getting substantial completion in August, I would say we could just start charging time to the closeout phase.
Well, I mean, for accounting and whatnot.
Yeah, I was asking the question of what triggers the closeout? What is the closeout phase? What does that mean from a project perspective, right?
Typically that's how we break out the fee structure. And it's just hourly. I mean, it's a full-time equivalent instead of construction. We think day and a half to 2 days a week. Closeout, we might be down to a day to day and a half. That's and how we figured it on the number of months. That's how it's broken out. But yeah, I can come up with a figure to transfer up and then and go from there.
Just something so we have on record.
Yep.
That we're doing this. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
I don't think.
I don't think so either. Okay.
And
Any
then the
other new
next
business?
Yep,
Sorry, Mark.
one more item, sticking on our invoice. We were able to stretch phase 2 through 5. We had a fee for Tomlinson. We're basically out of that. This fee was supposed to go through DD. We're now through bidding. We do have a letter for ad services that I will circulate, and we'll look for approval at the next meeting on it.
Ad
Basically,
services for what?
Tomlinson through construction and closeout.
All right, get it to us in plenty of time, please.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark, we need to rush that because ideally that would go through Adam and procurement and get presented as a contract modification as well, right? Because I assume your contract with the town is going to be modified in the same way that Gilbane's is being modified. So we have to get that in front of procurement, and then they have to get the approvals.
Yep.
So they could do that the same meeting, the same
time.
presentation. Yep. Okay. Any other new business?
None from me.
Okay. Hearing none, our next scheduled meeting is July 25th. Asterisk noting Tim's request, and we'll handle those offline or special meeting as necessary. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.